Hey there, welcome to Here's What I Learned. I'm Jackie Hayes, a systems strategist, unapologetic, smutty romantasy lover, Dungeons & Dragons geek, and your no BS guide to building a business that works for you. This is the place where we swap stories, share lessons, and get real about the highs and lows of creating a life and business that actually feels good. No cookie cutter advice here, just honest conversations about what's working, what's not, and how to rewrite the rules to fit your version of success. So grab your favorite beverage, get comfy, and let's dive in. Hey friends, Jackie here. Welcome to the final Mixtape episode as we celebrate a big milestone. 99 episodes of Here's What I Learned on November 4th. This show started as a tiny experiment, and you've been through the pivots, pauses, and wins. Thank you for listening, sharing, and building this nerdy little corner of the internet with me. Season 10 kicks off in January with a brand new format, and I can't wait to share what's next. For this mixtape, I invited past guests to answer one question. Since the last time you were on Here's What I Learned, what's the biggest business lesson you have learned? Today, you'll hear from three brilliant voices who've built, rebuilt, and redefined their work in real time. First up is Frenchie Ferenzi, small business strategist, fractional executive, and growth advisor. Frenchie's lesson is about giving yourself permission to redefine success in real time and letting that definition guide your next move. Here's Frenchie.
The biggest and most important business lesson I've learned recently is that you need to be open to evolving and redefining what success means to you. A lot of us are assuming that success is about money or freedom or time or some combination of those things. And that's often true, but we don't get specific enough about what that actually means and looks like for ourselves. I, for example, for a long time, was building a business that was all about courses and group programs and all the traditional online business pathways to growth, which I loved and was great. And then I hit a roadblock and I really had to reflect and think, if things were just going my way, would this really be the path that I wanted to continue down for the next 30 years? And my answer to that really evolved and changed. And that's when I realized that I needed to stop, pause, and rewrite success for myself. And so now I have a regular practice of asking myself, what does success look like and mean to me right now? And then I use that as an anchor and a guidepost to inform where I spend my time and energy, how I build my business strategies, and how I think about where I spend my time day to day. For example, after realizing that courses and programs weren't the only thing for me, I thought about going back into startups. And with that, I discovered fractional work within startups, which has brought me enormous joy and has brought me truly a whole new perspective on running a consulting business. I had to redefine success in order to even allow myself to explore that option. And I can also see myself in a year deciding that I'm done with that and I want to go back to something else or I want to try a different pathway. But we need to give ourselves time to explore and redefine that meaning of success so that we can expand, so that we can get creative, and so that we can really, really find our purpose, have the impact that we're meant to have and that we want to have, and find joy in the work that we do. While I've recognized this lesson recently, I feel like it's been a long time coming. But as you listen to this or after you listen to this, my recommendation for you is to stop and pause and ask yourself, what does success look like for me right now? And what does success in the next 5 years look like for me right now and in the next 10 years and beyond? Those definitions can always evolve. Give yourself that space, but also give yourself the opportunity to meet those milestones.
Next up is Patricia Sung of Motherhood and ADHD. Patricia's biggest lesson is learning to let go, loosening the white knuckle grip on plans so life and business can unfold in better than expected ways. Let's take a listen.
Hey there, this is Patricia Sung of Motherhood in ADHD, and here is the biggest business lesson that I've learned over the last couple of years, and that is how to let go. I often get a plan in my head. I've crossed all my T's and dotted all my I's. I know where I'm going. And the older that I get, the more I realize that I don't actually know where I'm going and how I'm going to get there. And being able to hold all of my plans with open hands and being okay with letting go when things don't go the way that I thought or expected or even imagined them going has been such a valuable skill. Because when I was holding on so tightly, I was really miserable. I was so frustrated. I didn't understand why things weren't going the way that I wanted them to be. And my expectations were not meeting the realities at hand. And now that I have let go, there is so much more space for life to unfold in ways that are even better than I imagined. And it's not an issue of not trying towards something or working towards a goal. It's just knowing that I don't know the future. I don't have a magic crystal ball. I am not the creator of the universe. There is nothing that I can do to plan for every occurrence. And all it does is make me really anxious. And when I've accepted hey, I don't have control over a lot of things, and the more that I seek control, it's just driving up my anxiety instead of letting things unfold how they may. It's just really changed my outlook and my happiness overall. One way that I see this is understanding that seasons aren't forever. And especially when you have ADHD, our sense of time is a little wonky. And I really don't have a good sense of time, not in the short term and not in the long term. So if you ask me okay, Patricia, I'm just mental timer, tell me when it's been 5 minutes, I don't think I would be anywhere close. And if you got to 30 minutes or an hour, I would have absolutely no idea how long I had been sitting there in order to tell you if it's been 5 minutes or an hour or 2 hours. I don't have a sense of time. But this also is I don't have a sense of time in the grand scheme of things. And I feel whatever I'm dealing with right now feels like it's going to be forever, and it's not. And constantly reminding myself that even though I'm in a hard season, it doesn't mean things are going to be hard forever. And even though I can't see how something is going to come together now, that doesn't mean it's not going to come together ever. I have to physically remind myself that whatever I'm dealing with right now is not necessarily what I'm going to be dealing with in 2 months or 5 years. And I need that constant reminder to know that whatever this situation is, it's not forever. Secondly, I have to let go of ideas. I am someone who will always have more ideas. And when I accepted, I will have plenty of good ideas. I didn't feel like I had to hold on to every good idea or that I needed to enact on every good idea, because there will always be more good ideas. And I trust myself that I am going to have 57 more brilliant ideas probably by the end of the day. So I don't have to worry about other people stealing my ideas. I don't have to worry about well, if I don't jump on this, someone else is going to make millions of dollars off this idea. No, there's always going to be more ideas. And I will always have another one. So I don't have to hold on to them white knuckle, and I don't have to act on every good idea. There's also the whole idea of I don't have to do all the good ideas right now. I can do one good idea right now, and then I can always add more ideas later, but I don't have to do them all in this very moment. And that links to understanding simplicity is much easier on my mental load, and keeping my life as simple as possible is such a blessing for my capacity. And again, I can always add in more things later. But in creating that ease and that simplicity, what it allows me to do is be okay with letting go of good ideas in order to have space for great ideas. I am only one person. I only have so much capacity. I have young kids. There's only so much that I can accomplish in a day. And knowing that I am letting go of really good ideas so that I can use that finite amount of capacity that I have for something that's really great allows me to be okay with letting go of the good ideas. For example, I closed my membership at the end of last year, and I was heartbroken about it because I loved the membership so much. I loved this community of women that I was walking with literally every day. And yet I knew I had to let go of that good idea to make space for a great idea that was coming forward. And I would never have been able to execute the great idea had I been holding on to all my good ideas because I only have so much capacity. And that was a really hard lesson to learn. And yet I'm really grateful that I chose to let go of the membership, and I chose to eliminate several pieces of my business over the last 6 to 8 months. And that's what's given me the space to enjoy this summer with my kids and also work on my book that's coming out in 2027, which feels, again, really far away. My sense of time is like, that's basically never, but it'll be here before I know it. And letting go of all the things that I was handling is what allowed me to have space to write the book. And I never would have said yes to writing the book had I been carrying around all those other responsibilities that I had. So this has been a tough lesson to learn, but letting go of good things, of creating space for flexibility and movement has allowed my happiness to skyrocket. My stress is much lower. And I am spending my limited capacity that I have to spend like towards my business on things that I really love, like one-on-one clients and writing this book. So my encouragement to you is when you have to let go of something that's good and you really don't understand why, knowing that you are creating space for something really great to be able to take root and grow in your life.
Closing us out is designer and creative Rachel Lee. Rachel talks about seasons, how hitting long-time goals can change what you want next, and why it's okay to let your vision evolve as you do. Here's Rachel.
This is Rachel Lee, and I'm recording my answer to the question, since the last time you were on Here's What I Learned, what is the biggest business lesson you've learned? Since the last time I've been on this show, I've come to understand that it's important to be flexible with your business goals as your personal goals evolve. And I say this now 6 years into my journey as a business owner and reflecting back on just the crazy ride that it's been, where I'm definitely not where I've started. And it's weird to say that I've gotten my business to the point where when I was at the starting line, I remember looking at this point and being like, I wish that I can get there. And the main thing literally was, one, being able to sustain a living doing this, not needing to like hustle and grind every second of every day to like just eke by a living, to be able to stand behind my work and be like, I am actually proud of this, especially as a creative. I feel like when I first started my business, I definitely had something to prove, even just to myself. I felt like I really wanted to feel like I could stand on my own 2 feet in the world of business. And this is me coming in as an art kid to prove to myself that my work is good enough that people would be more than happy and willing to invest in it. And I would be able to personally look at my work and be like, I'm damn proud of it. Like, I feel good with this. My skill level has gotten to a certain point and I feel happy with it. And so it's weird for me to say now that 6 years in, I've gotten to that point in my business, and mentally and emotionally, I've started to get excited about another thing, which is to build my own personal brand as an artist. And it's weird. It's like this full circle moment. I started off as the art kid. I ventured into the world of business to do my own thing. And then now I guess I've set out, I've accomplished what I've set out to accomplish. And then I'm coming back to this point where I want to work on my own stuff again. And so this is all a very recent thing that has come to the surface, where in the past few weeks, I've just been sitting and reflecting on my goals. Of course, we're basically at the halfway point of the year, and I'm just looking ahead and thinking and asking myself like, okay, Rachel, what do you really want? And I was surprised with the answer that even though I love my business, it's my baby, and I'm so happy and so proud of it, I've started to get excited about doing something different. And I didn't anticipate that this is how I would feel or what I would do when I get to this point. It was a weird moment where I needed to acknowledge to myself that this business for me has been, it's a stepping stone. For a lot of people, the business is the end goal. You work your whole life to build up this thing that is able to support you and your family, and you can leave a legacy for people behind you. Like, a lot of people see business that way. And it's weird for me to say that the business was actually, it turns out, now I'm finding out even in hindsight, the business was a vehicle for me to discover parts of myself, to prove to myself that I can do what I say that I set out to do. And it taught me a lot of amazing skills. It taught me a lot of things about myself that I didn't even know. And so by nature, I'm a pretty stubborn person. I think most entrepreneurs are, where you just got to be pig-headedly stubborn with sticking to your goals and like, at all costs, I'm going to make this happen. And it's just, I'm at a weird stage in my journey where I'm coming to realize that goals change. The vision for what you want changes as you evolve as a person. And that's okay. Like, we don't have to stick to this rigid idea of like, I set out to do this thing and then I did the thing. And then, well, now I'm faced with a big now what? And I'm coming to realize that it's okay for me to get my business to the point where I could say, I'm happy with it, but it's time for me to move on to the next thing. So what's very exciting is that I'm looking to make a transition with the business where it's not that I'm going to like put it to sleep or anything. It's still going to be here, but it's going to be like a vehicle that I'm going to use to help me bridge the gap to where I want to be going. And then I'm eventually going to be slowly transitioning the business in a different direction. But biggest learning lesson was just me fighting, me standing up against my own ego and being like, oh, well, I guess this is where we're at right now. And I guess this is where we're going to be going moving forward, and to be okay with the fact that it's changed. And I think the craziest thing is we're often so fixated on the end goal. We're like, we have to be there at all costs. Like go hard, go hard or go home. Like, let's put everything in. And then you get there and then it's okay for that to change. So I'm excited for the next chapter. It's cool that I get to share this on this show. I'm excited to see, looking back. I'm probably going to listen back to this episode in even a few months, half a year, and be like, oh yeah, I remember that moment. That was before I decided to make like any big changes. But very happy to share this big business lesson that I've learned. And I hope that it's of value to all of you who are listening.
I love how each of these lessons points to the same center. You're allowed to change your mind, your methods, and your map, and you can do it without burning down what you've built. Thank you to Frenchie, Patricia, and Rachel, and all my guests for sharing so generously. If today landed for you, share this mixtape with a friend who's in a season of recalibrating. And make sure you're following the show so you don't miss season 10, starting in January with a fresh format and more experiments you can steal for your own business. Thanks for listening to Here's What I Learned. I'm Jackie. I'll see you in season 10. Thanks for hanging out with me on Here's What I Learned. If today's episode gave you an aha moment, a laugh, or something to think about, make sure you're subscribed to my email list. That's where I share even more tips, stories, and behind-the-scenes insights to help you simplify and thrive. And remember, you get to do business and life your way. Until next time, keep experimenting, keep simplifying, and keep learning.